So this next article 14.3 wave particle duality. We have seen this meaning so many times from light section. So I will not write anything. Some phenomena of light like interference, diffraction, polarization, etc. They are explained by considering wave nature. Photoelectric effect, Compton effect, Raman effect, these three effects are explained by considering particle nature. Light travels in the form of stream of photon particle. So nowadays we are having so many phenomena related with the light, and some phenomena are explained using wave nature, some phenomena are explained using particle nature, some phenomena are explained by using both nature. Light travels in the form of light, electromagnetic wave, transverse electromagnetic wave. Light travels in the form of stream of photon particle. This is called as dual nature. So light has both type of nature, and that nature we have already explained by this equation. M is equal to H into C upon lambda. So sorry, H upon lambda into C. So this lambda means it is the wavelength, so it represents the wave nature, and M for mass means it represents the particle nature. So particle nature and wave nature are interconvertible. This is called as a dual nature. This is called as a wave particle duality. Dual means both. So light has both type of nature. Not only light, but the electromagnetic radiation. The electromagnetic spectrum is very wide. It starts from gamma, X-ray, ultraviolet ray, visible light, infrared, microwave, radio wave. These are 7 compartments. So all this electromagnetic radiation shows this dual nature, particle nature as well as the wave nature. This is called the wave particle duality. The meaning that we have seen so many times. Dual nature of light or wave particle duality has the same meaning. Now, when the matter like a car, aeroplane, train, proton, atom, nucleus, electron, when they are moving, they are associated with a wave. What is the title? Dual nature of radiation and matter. हा शेवटचा पार्ट आता आपला बाकी राहिलेला आहे. Matter waves. In the classification of waves in sound section, we have seen that there are 3 types of waves. One is the mechanical wave, requires material medium, non-mechanical wave, that is electromagnetic wave, and matter waves. The wave associated or linked with the moving matter. The matter may be huge body like the train, bus, aeroplane, cricket ball, etc., or maybe small body like atomic particle, proton, atom, electron, neutron, alpha particle, etc. So any moving matter is associated with a wave, and that is called as a matter wave. So we have to see this details of matter wave, and in relation with this matter wave, there is one important article included at the end of this chapter, and the title of the chapter is given wave particle duality of matter. It is given in article number 14.5. 14.4, it is related with photocell. We have seen the construction, working and applications of photocell. Now what to see the de Broglie hypothesis. 14.5. De Broglie's hypothesis. De Broglie hypothesis. It is related with the matter wave. So what is meant by matter wave that we know? A wave associated or linked with the moving matter is called as a matter wave. Now what are the properties? What is its wavelength? If it is a wave, then it will have certain wavelength. So we have to see that part. de Broglie's hypothesis. What is the suggestion of the de Broglie scientist that now we are to see? So in this previous article, wave particle duality, we have considered that light has both type of nature, wave nature as well as particle nature. So a particle nature can be considered due to dual nature. Due to the dual nature of light or radiation, of course electromagnetic radiation, particle nature, photon nature. Particle nature can be considered as wave nature, and vice versa. So I will underline this part. Particle nature can be considered as a wave nature. So if we consider light made up of photon, then we know this is the equation. So light wave transfers the energy from one point to another point in the form of photon particle. Also, light transfers energy from one point, light wave transfer the energy from one point to another point in the form of photon particles. Now we know the characteristics of photon. We have seen them separately. Photon is electrically neutral. Its rest mass is 0. It is moving always along the straight line with a speed equal to c. It has energy E is equal to h into nu, fixed energy, fixed momentum, depending upon the frequency of vibration, like this. So using those characteristics, we have given this conclusion. Now the same conclusion can be extended like this by Einstein. Energy of each photon E by Einstein's theory. Of course, it is a relativistic theory. By Einstein's theory, E is equal to mc square, and by Planck's theory, of course Planck's quantum theory, E is equal to h into nu is equal to h into c upon lambda. So by equating this, mc square is equal to h into c upon lambda. So one c will get cancelled. M into c is equal to h upon lambda, and therefore lambda is equal to h upon m into c, where m is equal to mass of photon, c is equal to speed of photon, and therefore m into c is equal to mass multiplied by velocity. It is called as a momentum of a photon, and therefore the equation 1 can also be arranged as lambda is equal to h by p. This is equation 2. So what is the meaning of this equation? A photon having momentum p is associated with a wave called as a matter wave, whose wavelength lambda is given by h by p. Actually, this equation is for photon particles. By combining Einstein's energy mass relation and Planck's quantum theory, we get this equation. The wavelength of the wave associated with a photon moving with momentum p is given by this. But this is restricted to only photon. Now, the scientist de Broglie has generalized this equation. Generalized means it is applicable to not only photon, but it is applicable to any moving matter. Even the matter may be in the form of a used body like the train, aeroplane, bus, bicycle, cricket ball, or it may be applicable to the atomic and subatomic particle like atom, proton, neutron, electron, alpha particle, helium nucleus, etc. So this generalization of this equation is the de Broglie hypothesis. So de Broglie has de Broglie have generalized equation 2 for any moving matter. तर एनी मूविंग मॅटरचे एक्झाम्पल आपण बघितलेले. एक्झाम्पल ट्रेन, बस, क्रिकेट बॉल, ॲटम, प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन, इलेक्ट्रॉन, alpha particle, etc. And that generalization given by de Broglie in relation with the matter wave is called as the de Broglie's hypothesis of matter wave. The complete title is de Broglie's hypothesis of matter wave. De Broglie's hypothesis of matter waves. This is restricted for photon only. P is the momentum of the photon, lambda is the corresponding wavelength of the matter wave associated with the moving photon. Now we can generalize this statement. Any matter which is moving with momentum p has a wave called as a matter wave, and its wavelength lambda is given by the same relation, lambda is equal to h by p. So this is the de Broglie's hypothesis of matter wave. So statement of this de Broglie's hypothesis is like this. Statement. State and explain the de Broglie's hypothesis of matter wave. असा तो क्वेश्चन असतो. लक्षात. A material particle of momentum p is equal to m into v has a wave associated with it having wavelength given by lambda is equal to h upon v. A material particle, it is not a photon. Photon 30 पण applicable है. A material particle having velocity v or momentum p, velocity पेक्षा momentum महत्वाचा आहे. A material particle having momentum p is equal to mass multiplied by velocity is associated with a wave called matter wave whose wavelength lambda is given by lambda is equal to h upon p is equal to h upon m into v. So this lambda is called as de Broglie's wavelength. De Broglie's wavelength. So it is inversely proportional to mass. It is inversely proportional to the velocity. Larger the velocity, smaller is the wavelength, larger is the mass. So if we consider the used bodies, then this lambda will be very small for train, bus, aeroplane, etc. because mass is very large. So for used body, this concept of matter wave is not used because this lambda is negligibly small. So even though this concept was put forth by de Broglie for any moving matter, but it has a restriction. What is the restriction? What is the limitation? Limitations of de Broglie's hypothesis. De Broglie's hypothesis. जसं आपण न्यूटनने पण साऊंडची वेलॉसिटी सांगितली होती, पण त्याला पण लिमिटेशन होतं, काही ड्रॉबॅक होते. तसे इथे पण ड्रॉबॅक असलेले आहेत. फॉर used bodies having larger mass, that is, they are called as macroscopic bodies, like moving train, bus, aeroplane, etc. Or used bodies having larger mass, like moving train, bus, aeroplane, etc. Lambda is negligibly small, and therefore the concept of matter wave is not applicable. The concept of matter wave is not applicable for macroscopic bodies, but it is used only for microscopic bodies like atomic and subatomic particles. Atomic and subatomic particles. So these are the limitations. We can use the de Broglie hypothesis for microscopic body like atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, alpha particle, etc. They are not applicable for the bus, cricket ball, train, aeroplane, etc. So these are the limitations. Now this de Broglie's wavelength for the moving matter can be expressed in different forms like this. Momentum P is equal to m into v is equal to m square v square is equal to 1/2 So this m square v square can be arranged as 1 half mv square multiplied by m. This 1 half mv square is equal to k, kinetic energy. So this will be multiplied by 2. So 2 will get cancelled. M into m square. So this is 2. And therefore momentum P is equal to under root of 2 times m into k, where k sometimes it is also denoted by k e. It is the energy of moving matter. So if you substitute here, then lambda is given by h upon p, h upon m into v, h upon this p is replaced by under root 2 times mk, or it can be denoted by e. It is also given in various forms like this. E can be replaced by k. So these are the various forms of the diffractive wavelength associated with the moving matter. So diffractive hypothesis is this. This relation lambda is equal to h by p, it is derived by using the Einstein's and Planck's theory. So lambda is equal to h by p, h upon momentum, but this is restricted to photon only. The scientist differently has generalized this for any moving matter, and the statement is like this: a material particle, not necessarily photon, a material particle having momentum p is associated with a wave called as a matter wave, whose wavelength is given by lambda is equal to h by p. Relation says this. So momentum is given by mass of the particle multiplied by velocity of the particle. So this equation has limitation. Even though it is applicable for any moving matter, but for the used body, macroscopic body, this lambda is negligibly small. It is of the order of 10 to minus 30, minus 40 meter, very small. So it is not detected. Even experimentally they are not detected, they are not observed, and that's why this concept of diffractive wavelength is not applicable for the microscopic body, but it is applicable only for microscopic body. So we can use this concept for microscopic, not for, it is not applicable for macroscopic body. This is the difference, this is the limitation. So these are the various equations. Now we will consider one particular case when the electron is accelerated by applying the positive potential, accelerating potential. Then it will have some momentum, it will have some velocity. So in that case, what is the wavelength associated with the moving electron, accelerated electron? We have to see that formula. Derive the expression for the diffractive wavelength associated with an accelerated electron. So we will derive that relation separately. So now we will consider this simple arrangement. Suppose these are the two electrodes. So positive potential is given, negative potential is given. V is the potential difference applied, capital V, and this is the negatively charged electron of mass ME. So this electron is accelerated toward the positive potential with velocity V. So this small v for velocity and v for potential difference applied between the two electrodes. When an electron of mass ME charge equal to E is placed in potential difference of V volt, then it is accelerated towards positive potential plate. for the two potential terminal with velocity equal to v. Therefore, momentum of an electron P is equal to mass of the electron multiplied by velocity. So this is equation 1. Kinetic energy gained by an electron is equal to potential energy of the electron due to applied potential difference V volt. So we know this relation E into V. Generally आपण इथे Q घेतो. So basically equation kinetic energy K is equal to U and this U is equal to E into capital V and this is equal to 1/2 mass of the electron into velocity of the electron. So this is one more relation. Again, in the same way, the momentum of the electron can be arranged like this. Therefore, momentum of the electron P is equal to same relation under root 2 times mass of the electron multiplied by kinetic energy of the electron. Kinetic energy of the electron, and this kinetic energy can be replaced by. So this is equation 2. Using 2, the momentum of the electron, moving electron, is given by 2 times mass of the electron multiplied by charge of the electron into the accelerating potential. This is equation 3, where V is equal to accelerating potential. We also know the meaning of retarding or stopping potential. For stopping potential, the polarity of the supply will be reversed like this one. This is cathode, it emits the electron. This is the anode, P, like this. So if you substitute this value, then by de Broglie's hypothesis, lambda is equal to de Broglie's wavelength, associated with accelerated electron. The electron accelerated by potential V. Accelerated electron is given by lambda is equal to h upon P, and P is replaced by h upon under root 2 times mass of the electron, charge of the electron into the accelerating potential V, like this. So this is the one more relation, where me into V is equal to momentum of the electron, like this. Now this equation can also be arranged like this. So lambda is equal to h upon under root 2 times mass of the electron, constant quantity charge of the electron, into 1 upon root of V. So all this quantity in this bracket is constant. H is a Planck's constant, Me is a mass of the electron, E is a charge of the electron. All these are constant quantity, and therefore this lambda is given by this quantity is 1.227 upon root of V. This lambda is directly in angstrom. So this is a very important relation. V is a accelerating potential. V is a this is 12.27. So lambda in angstrom is equal to 12.27 upon root of V, where V is a accelerating potential in volt. accelerating potential in volt like this. ही व्हॅल्यू आपण अँगस्ट्रॉममध्ये लिहिलेली आपल्याला ती नॅनोमीटरमध्ये पण व्यक्त करता यायला पाहिजे. दिस कॅन ऑल्सो बी रिटन ॲज लॅम्बडा इन नॅनोमीटर is equal to 1.227 upon root of a. So we will use both relation, either this. Generally we will use this relation. So example, if the accelerating potential is equal to 100 volt, then lambda is equal to 12.27 upon root of 100, that is equal to 12.27 upon 10, that is equal to 1.227 angstrom. So you can make a simple table by changing the value of the potential. We can change the value of the wavelength associated with the electron. So when the electron is accelerated, it is a real particle. It is having a matter wave associated with it, whose wavelength is given by, and this wavelength is experimentally कन्फर्म. हे इमेजिनरी नाही आहे, प्रॅक्टिकली आपण ते व्हेरीफाय करू शकतो. दिस वेवलेंथ वॉज कन्फर्म एक्सपेरिमेंटली बाय डेव्हिसन अँड डर्मर, अँड फॉर दॅट डिस्कवरी अँड इलेक्ट्रॉन, मूविंग इलेक्ट्रॉन, accelerated electron is associated with a wave, and that wavelength of the matter wave is confirmed experimentally. The Davison and Dermer scientists were awarded Nobel Prize. डिब्रागीला पण नोबेल प्राइज दिलेलं आहे, पण त्याचं एक्सपेरिमेंटल व्हेरिफिकेशन पहिल्यांदा डेव्हिसन अँड डर्मर एक्सपेरिमेंट झाले मिळालं, म्हणून त्याला पण आपण नोबेल प्राइज अवॉर्ड केलेलं आहे. सो these are some simple cases, sir. V in volt and corresponding lambda in angstrom. So these are some reasons. For approximate value, we should know this. So V is equal to 10 volt, then lambda is equal to, if you substitute 10 here, then root of 10 is equal to 3.162, and this value is less than 1. So it is nearly 3.888. Substitute here. So this is equal to 3.88 angstrom, 10 volt. Then if we use V is equal to 50 volt, then this value can also be modified as, ही पण व्हॅल्यू जर आपण रूटमध्ये घेतली तर इथे ही 150 अपॉन V होऊन जाईल. सो V इज इक्वल टू 50 वोल्ट, देन 150 अपॉन 50, दॅट इज इक्वल टू 3. सो दिस इज इक्वल टू √3, that is equal to 1.732 angstrom. Then if it is 100 volt, just now we have calculated this value. This is equal to lambda is equal to 1.227 angstrom, like this. So these are some cases. This is 1000 volt. Lambda is equal to 1000 means 0.388 angstrom, like this. So what is the result? As the accelerating potential increases, then the velocity of the electron increases, therefore momentum of the electron increases, therefore the wavelength associated with the electron decreases. This is the table. So in Davison and Dermer experiment particularly, V is equal to 54 volt value was used, and this theoretically calculated value by de Broglie's hypothesis and experimental observed value by Davison and Dermer experiment tally, and therefore this wave nature of the moving electron is confirmed, like this. So this confirmation of wave nature was given by Davison and Dermer experiment, like this. So that Davison and Dermer experiment is not included in our syllabus, but in our notes we have added it, like this. So this is about the different forms. So the wavelength associated with the moving matter is given in different forms. Lambda is equal to h upon p, where p is a momentum. Momentum is equal to mass into velocity. This is h. Momentum is also given by under root 2 8 upon under root 2 times mv, where E is the energy. Energy can also be replaced by K, where K is a kinetic energy. This is for any moving matter. Now particularly for electron, it is given like this. Under root 2 times m into mass of the electron into E into V, where V is the exciting potential. So that E energy gain, kinetic energy, is replaced by this value E into V. For the accelerated electron, E into V is the value substituted here, and therefore we get this equation. So other than this root of V, all these quantities are constant, Planck constant, mass of the electron, charge of the electron. If we substitute, the first value will be in in SI system, then it is converted into the angstrom, then it will be 12.27. This 12.27 when taken inside the root, it will become 150, root of 150. So these equations are important. Generally, we will use these two relations. Lambda associated with the moving electron is equal to root 150 upon V, where V is a accelerating potential. So by changing the accelerating potential, we can change the wavelength of the associated matter wave like this. So let us start problems on this chapter, dual nature of radiation and matter. So first question is for MCQ. There are 4 or 5 MCQs given, so we will try for this. First MCQ, I will read the problem. A photocell is used to automatically switch on the street lights in the evening when the sunlight is low in intensity. Thus, it has to work with visible light. The material of the cathode of the photocell is zinc, aluminium, nickel and potassium. The material कुठला सिलेक्ट करतात ते विचारलं आपल्याला. The condition काय आहे, but to operate that photo relay switch, we have seen this application. To operate the photo relay switch on visible light, incident radiations are visible light, but to use the alkali metals, and alkali metals are sodium, potassium, lithium, cesium, etc. So out of these 4, only potassium is correct. So this zinc, aluminium, nickel, they can also be used, but they are used for ultraviolet radiation, not visible. We are considering only the visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. So answer of the first question is this. First MCQ. Potassium, D is correct. Why? D is correct. For visible light, alkali metals like alkali metals means first group in the periodic table: sodium, potassium, lithium, cesium. For visible light, alkali metals like dash are used as photoelectron emitter. That is, in simple way, we call it as a cathode. For visible light, alkali metals like, I will underline potassium. Potassiums are used as photoelectron emitter, that is cathode, in photocell. For photo relay switch, photo relay switch, we have seen this application. In the evening, the switch turns on and simultaneously all the street lamps can be turned on. In the morning, when the intensity rises, then all the garden lamps, street lamps are turned off automatically. So this is the intensity control of the switch, like this. Second, the polychromatic, or it is also called as a multichromatic. Multichromatic, containing many different frequencies radiation, is used in an experiment on photoelectric effect. The stopping potential A will depend on the average wavelength, will depend on the longest wavelength, will depend on the shortest wavelength, and does not depend on the wavelength. तर A आणि D तर रॉंग आहे, फक्त B आणि C पैकी आपल्याला सिलेक्ट करायचं आहे. नो डाउट स्टॉपिंग पोटेन्शियल डिपेंड अपॉन पोटेन्शियल, बट radiations are used in the experiment. So what should be the, so in experiment we have to produce the photoelectron. We are using photoelectric cell and we have to produce the photoelectron. So what is the necessary condition that we have to see? So second question, the answer is C. Second, C is correct. Why? So in experiment, we have to produce the photoelectrons. In an experiment, of photoelectric effect. Photoelectrons are emitted if, this is the condition, if nu is greater than nu 0 or equal to, if lambda is less than lambda 0, so lambda is a incident wavelength. And lambda 0 is a threshold wavelength. Threshold wavelength. So you are using wavelength smaller than means shortest wavelength. So that's this observation depends upon the wavelength. So the stopping potential depends upon the stopping potential Vs. Stopping potential Vs is given by E into Vs is equal to K max. Therefore, Vs is directly proportional to K max. K max is directly proportional to the frequency nu. It is inversely proportional to lambda, and therefore Vs is inversely proportional to the lambda. So we are using this shorter wavelength. So stopping potential Vs depends on shortest wavelength. Shortest wavelength. So correct choice is C. The potential will depend upon the shortest wavelength. Shortest wavelength means less than, shortest wavelength, that is less than लॅम्बडा 0. लॅम्बडा 0 पेक्षा कमी वेव्हलेंग्थची व्हॅल्यू. दिस इज द कंडिशन. So this is second answer. Topping potential is inversely proportional to lambda. Smaller the wavelength, larger will be the topping potential, etc. 3. Third MC. So I will read the question. An electron, a proton, an alpha particle and a hydrogen atom are moving with the same kinetic energy. The associated diffraction wavelength will be longest. Longest means maximum for electron, proton, alpha particle, hydrogen atom, etc. आपल्याला कंपॅरिझन करायला सांगितलेलं आहे. तर आत्ताच आपण डिफरन्स वेव्हलेंथचा फॉर्म्युला डिराईव्ह केलेला आहे. डिफरन्स वेव्हलेंथ लॅम्बडा difference wavelength lambda is equal to h upon under root 2 times mk. Since all particles have same kinetic energy k and h is Planck's constant, so it is also constant, and that lambda is inversely proportional to square root of n. After problem साठी ही झाली problem. So we are given 4 different particles and their masses are like this. Mass of the electron smallest is less than mass of the proton is less than mass of the H2 atom, hydrogen atom is less than mass of the alpha particle. Therefore, difference in wavelength with the moving electron is greater than difference in wavelength for proton is greater than for H atom is greater than alpha particle. Alpha particle. So this is the longest. Therefore, lambda is longest, that is maximum for electron. The electrons are wavelength longest unit. A choice is correct. Therefore, A is correct. Third MCQ is A choice correct alone. Next, MCQ number 4. So I will read this fourth MCQ. If capital N red and capital N blue are the number of photons emitted by the respective sources of equal power and equal dimensions in unit time, then N red is less than equal to greater than like this. They are nearly equal. The number of photons आपल्याला comparison करायचं red आणि blue साठी. So we are using 2 different colors. So their wavelength, their frequencies, their energies are different, but the sources are of equal power and equal dimensions. Equal power and equal dimension means their intensity are same. This is the most important part. Intensity is given by watt per meter square. We know the unit. So power is same means watt is same. Dimensions are same means meter square area is same, and therefore intensity is same. And therefore Since intensity is remaining same, the number of photon emitted by the two sources will be equal. So characteristic is B. Why? The reason is important. B is correct. By the observations of photoelectric effect, N is directly proportional to R, where N is equal to number of photons emitted, I is equal to intensity of the incident radiation. Since this point is important, since two sources have equal power and equal dimensions, they produces radiations of equal intensities, I1 is equal to I2. ब्रॅकेट मध्ये वाटलं लिहून ठेवा. इंटेन्सिटी has SI unit, watt means power per meter square, watt per meter square. So I is equal to power upon area. So equal dimension means area is same, equal power means numerator is same. So numerator, denominator are same, their intensity are same. I1 is equal to I2, and therefore N1 is equal to into therefore N red from the first source is equal to N blue from the second source. Here we are using different colors, therefore frequency are same, therefore wavelength are same, therefore energies are same, but intensity and kinetic energy, they are independent of each other, like this. So frequency or energy has no effect like this. So this is very important question. Why equal intensity? This explanation is important. Now the equation E is equal to Pc is valid. E for all subatomic particles is valid for an electron but not for a photon. So this equation has a condition. E is equal to Pc, where P is the speed of light. In equation E is equal to P into C. C is a speed of light. This is equation 1. E is equal to energy and P is equal to momentum. photon only move with speed equal to c. Therefore, E is equal to Pc is valid for photon only. Photon particle साठी फक्त ते applicable, बाकी इतर आन्सर wrong येतील ते. So it is valid for photon but not for electron. E is valid for photon only but not for electron. So E is equal to Pc is the valid for the particle having zero rest mass and having speed equal to c is equal to speed of light. Therefore, these properties are possessed by photon only. Zero rest mass and speed of light. These properties are observed only for photon particle. Therefore, this equation is applicable for photon only, and therefore the correct choice is C. Therefore, C is correct. C is the correct. Now, remaining are the numerical problem that we will see afterward. Okay, we will see a remaining problem afterward, numerical problem.